we have our chair. What we're gonna do, we're gonna call it in order.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Chavez. Hightower.
Here.
Jackson. Mason. Here. Mora.
Here.
O'Connell. Here. Sosa.
Okay. We have public participation. We know. No business. Okay, on the new business. This is united policies.
Yes, so the policies as presented tonight are ones that have been reviewed by our legal counsel and general updates because of legislative updates, et cetera. The final one, student appearance, is one that we've talked about the last couple of meetings in regards to student dress code. So we've modified that and updated that to present to the board tonight for its first reading and adoption during our regular board meeting. I'm happy to address any questions if the board has them.
Do you have any questions? Okay. Motion. Accept this. Jason?
I'll second. Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell. Aye. Motion carried.
Did I hear a pop from Mr. Jackson? He's on, okay. Okay. Anything on other business? Mr. Clerk, Keating?
Yep.
Have a motion to adjourn? Ms.
I'll
Mason?
second.
Ms. O'Connell? Okay. Thank you for that.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell. Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you. Okay, let's, for the sake of time, go right into our regular board meeting. Okay. Roll call, please.
Chavez. Hightower.
Here.
Jackson. Mason. Here. Mora.
Here.
O'Connell. Here. Sosa.
So call for agenda for public hearing. That you, Ms. Beck?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'd like to open the public hearing on the amended budget for fiscal year 2021. When I presented the tentative budget in April, I shared that the updates that were made to the tentative budget included the changes related to the grant sale, the bond sales, and some changes based on some of the grants. In addition, we were monitoring the ESSER funds. The ESSER 2 funds will not be expended until FY22, so there were no changes made to that. And actually, what the focus on this time was the updating capital projects. Initially, we included in the budget for expenditures for construction-related invoices, and at this point, we've only expended money for the pre-construction, architect, civil, testing, those type of things. There wasn't actually any construction bills received yet. So I reduced that so that to eliminate the excess that was in Fund 60 that we knew would not be expended. The revenues, the district receives state revenues of roughly 38%, federal of approximately 12%, and about 50% of our revenues come from local funds. Are there any questions?
Do we have any questions?
No, sir.
Have a motion to accept this?
Yes.
Please. Any more?
Close the hearing. Yeah, it's just.
All right. Motion closed
I'll
here.
second. If Rose made the motion, I'll second.
Okay, motion closed here. Ms. Mason and Ms. O'Connor second. Roll call.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And then I have to open the next public hearing for transfer of funds from life safety to operation and maintenance. And capital projects. So the board directed us to post the notice, publish the notice for the transfer of surplus funds from life safety, fire prevention and life safety. And we would be transferring the excess funds because the life safety funds were levied with the intent of conducting all of the work that was in our 10-year life safety report. Those projects are included in the $111 million capital projects funds. So we do not need them to pay for those projects separately. So the hearing is to transfer, to get, address any public comment, to transfer funds from life safety. We would it's two steps in the resolution. It would transfer to operations and maintenance, and then transfer the same amount from operations and maintenance to the capital projects fund. And then that would be used towards the additional portion, the local portion, towards the $6 million worth of projects that were not included in the referendum.
Any questions on it? Do you have any questions on this one?
I did not receive any questions prior to this. Are there any questions in the chat for? No questions. So we can close the hearing.
You have a motion to close the hearing? Ms. Mason? Ms. O'Connor?
Mason.
Aye.
Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Motion carried.
I'd like to open the public hearing for transfer of funds from transportation fund to the educational fund. So the December 2019 levy for the 2020 tax year included funds for the transportation fund. We levied based on the assumption that we would have regular school for all of the FY20 and FY21 school years. As you know, the levy, 2020 levy, half of it is paid in one fiscal year and the other half is paid in the next fiscal year. So the 2020 levy, the second half of that, second installment, came in the start of this current fiscal year. We levied in December of 2020 for revenues to be received in 2021. First installment in this fiscal year, the second installment should be received in August of 21. With the hybrid remote learning and then the hybrid, we did not utilize all of the transportation funds that we levied for. The excess funds may be transferred to other funds in need. The hearing tonight will allow us to answer any questions related to that transfer, and then the funds would be, later this meeting, we'll be asking for approval of a resolution to transfer those funds.
Any questions?
I'm good.
Okay. Motion? Close the hearing.
I'll second.
Mason? Ms. O'Connor? Roll call, please.
Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Moving on to the bid awards. We received bids for bid package 3. We're asking the board to approve a portion, the first group of those bids. The second group will be vetted and reviewed by Dobain and brought to the July 12th special board meeting for board approval. So the first recommendation is that the Board of Education award the trade package 04A masonry work to A1 Group LTD in the amount of $2,190,000.
A motion, Ms. O'Connell, second by Ms. Mason. Roll call, please.
O'Connell. Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Mason. Mora.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And I want to remind the board, unless I mention it, all of the alternates will be reviewed at a later date after the rest of the bids have been reviewed. So there is only one, I think one that we're looking at the alternate. The next one, that the Board of Education award the trade package 06A general trades work to Straw Builders Incorporated in the amount of $2,118,450.
The motion, please. Ms. O'Connell, Ms. Mason. Roll call.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason. Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell.
Aye.
Motion carried.
The next award is, the suggested motion is that the Board of Education award the trade package 08A glass and glazing work to Northern Glass Incorporated in the amount of $2,999,000. I'm sorry, $2,999,745.
The motion, Ms. O'Connell, Ms. Mason. Roll call, please.
Mason. Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Motion carried.
The Board of Education award the trade package 09A framing and drywall work to Escarpeta Construction Company in the amount of $4,143,790.
Motion, please. Ms. O'Connell, Ms. Mason. Roll call.
Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell. Hightower.
Aye.
Mason. Motion carried.
That the Board of Education award the trade package 11A kitchen equipment work to Stafford Smith Incorporated in the amount of $514,341.
Motion. Ms. O'Connell. Ms. Mason. Second. Roll call.
O'Connell.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason. Mora.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And the next item is that the Board of Education award the trade package 21A fire protection work to Nelson Fire Protection Incorporated in the amount of $482,970.
The motion. Ms. O'Connell, Ms. Mason. Roll call, please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason. Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell. Motion carried.
That the Board of Education award the trade package 22A plumbing work to C.R. Leonard Plumbing and Heating Incorporated in the amount of $1,865,000.
Motion. Ms. O'Connell, Ms. Mason. Roll call, please.
Mason. Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell. Hightower.
Aye.
Motion carried.
That the Board of Education award the trade package 23A mechanical work to Advanced Mechanical Systems Incorporated in the amount of $7,457,000 and accept alternate 6 UV treatment and air handling units in the amount of $55,000.
The motion, please. Ms. O'Connell, Ms. Mason. Roll call, please.
Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell. Hightower.
Aye.
Mason. Motion carried.
That the Board of Education award the trade package 26A electrical work to Fitzgerald's Electrical Contracting Incorporated in the amount of $4,938,900.
Motion, please. Ms. O'Connell, Ms. Mason. Roll call, please.
O'Connell.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason. Aye. Mora.
Aye.
And that the Board of Education award trade package 27A low voltage work to Renaissance Communication Systems Incorporated in the amount of $669,000.
Motion. Ms. O'Connell. Ms. Mason. Roll call, please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason. Aye. Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell.
Aye.
Motion carried.
That is the fastest spending of $27 million.
We don't waste any time on
No,
We're pretty efficient.
very efficient, and just kudos because once again, we are finding ourselves tracking well under budget, which is really exciting. So kudos to our Gilbane team, our Wold team. I think we got fantastic coverage on our bids. And Mrs. Vince and Mr. White for really putting in the extra work to ensure that we had that bid coverage. And as Laura said, we're gonna have additional alternate bids reviewed when we can come up, knowing that we are currently tracking under budget, which is nice, since we'll be able to get everything that we really planned for is the hope. So great work.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. Okay. Public participation? Have any written correspondence?
None.
None? Okay. Moving right along. Okay, in consideration of business. A motion to accept the written correspondence, Ms. Mason and Ms. O'Connell. Roll call, please.
Mason. Aye. Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right. Thank you. Consideration of business. Okay, we approve our minutes. Any questions on the minutes of the last? Okay.
Do all at once.
All at once, okay. Ms. O'Connor's motion. Ms. second. Roll call, please.
Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason. Aye. Motion carried.
Any reports from Mr. Jim?
No old business.
Is something?
No old business.
Is there any old business? Okay.
That the suggested motion is that the Board of Education approve the accounts and claims payable authorization as presented.
Ms. Mason,
I'll second.
second by Ms. O'Connell. Motion, roll call, please.
O'Connell.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora. Motion carried.
And there were no questions this month on the bills.
Thank you. I'm meeting out of sequence.
That's okay, and the monthly building rental report is included in your packet for your review, and this is for informational purposes only. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? I was cooking with some many things that got out of sequence.
No.
No, thank you. Ms. Travis.
No business.
Give a motion to close.
We actually do not need to go into a closed session for the first one. I have nothing for closed session. I know. My gift to all of you.
We'll close out a little.
Okay.
All right. You have to take a motion?
No.
Okay. Let's go right into, is there any business then, right? Okay, before we go into the agenda, we want to ask into the calendar. We're going to make some assignments, committee assignments. So what we want to present to the board tonight is do a flip-flop. Ms. O'Connell, you will be appointed as the new chair of PACE.
Okay. All right.
And Ms. Mason, you're going to be the alternate.
Yes.
We agree on that. Do anyone on the board have any issues with that?
No.
No? All right.
Nope.
All right, thank you. So, thank you, ladies, I really appreciate it. And Ms. O'Connell, you went to the last PACE meeting, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So, do we have any other motion?
That was the day we did the final bills. I gave Rose my, you know. We accepted the resignation of a person that was going to retire, and we approved the end of the year bills, the fiscal year for PACE.
Anything else? Okay, let's go into reports. In the reports,
Yes, I just passed a report on PACE for myself and Mrs. O'Connor.
okay, any verbal review with Sheriff Board? Are they all ready? Do they want Sheriff's verbal?
No, Mrs. O'Connor just shared, the logistics.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Do we have any other, reports that want to share from board members?
No.
No reports.
You have the facilities committee meeting minutes in your packet.
Okay. Any questions so far? No. Superintendent?
All right, so we have a few resignations that we would like to ask the board to approve. So we ask that the board accept the resignations of the following personnel effective immediately: Tasha Banks, Andrew Golick, Kelsey Larson, Cynthia Mejia Padilla, Danielle Ramos, Sarah Strawn, and Jordan Miller.
I move.
A motion from Ms. Created Ms. O'Connor's motion, and Ms. Reeson's second. Roll call, please.
Hightower,
Aye.
Jackson. Mason,
Aye.
Laura,
Aye.
Aye.
motion carried. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Didn't call on that.
We ask that the board approve the license leave request as presented for Michelle Molman, Beth Hyros, and Courtney Thomas.
I'll move.
Ms. O'Connor,
Second.
Ms. Mason. Roll call, please.
Mason,
Aye.
Laura,
Aye.
O'Connell,
Aye.
Hightower,
Aye.
motion carried.
And we ask that the board employ the following licensed personnel effective August 23rd, 2021, pending all employment paperwork: Gianna Curran at Sunnyside, Jessica Ellert at Whittier, Antoinetta Palermo at Riley, and Jacqueline Palermo at Jefferson.
Have a motion?
Aye.
Ms. O'Connor,
Second.
second, Ms. Mason. Roll call.
O'Connell,
Aye.
Hightower,
Aye.
Mason,
Aye.
Laura,
Aye.
motion carried.
And I know we have Jacqueline with us online, so congratulations, Ms. Palermo. We do have an administrator employment also for our board's approval tonight. We have our new assistant principal recommendation for North Lake Middle School. As you know, we hired Mrs. Hendricks as our new principal of Riley at last month's meeting. So we would like to recommend to the board that they employ the following personnel effective August 2nd, 2021, pending all employment paperwork, and that is Christina Lewis as the new North Lake assistant principal.
A motion. Ms. O'Connor,
Second.
Ms. Mason. Second. Roll call, please.
Mason,
Aye.
Laura,
Aye.
O'Connell,
Aye.
Hightower,
Aye.
motion carried.
And I know we have Ms. Lewis online with us tonight, so congratulations, Ms. Lewis. We're very excited to welcome you to the DH7 family. Did you want us to promote her, Mrs. Trax? I know you said that you spoke with her beforehand.
Yeah, I don't know if
Okay.
she's wanting to.
Yeah, Mr. Byrne?
She may have.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes, Christina Lewis. We'll see if she wants to say hello. We're putting her on the spot today. We got her picture up. Ms. Lewis, can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
You can hear, so
Yes,
we'll put her in the middle.
Just wanted to take wanted to take this opportunity to just thank everyone for just the incredible opportunity to work at the Berkeley School District. I'm really looking forward to serving all of our staff, our students, and our families this upcoming school year. And I just cannot tell you how excited I am and just how thankful I am for this opportunity of just you believing in me. And I look forward to partnering with you and doing incredible things. So thank you.
Well, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and congratulations. We are very excited to have you with District 87, and I know the North Lake team is very excited to have you as well. So congratulations.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Okay, so love her energy. We're going to bottle that.
Yes.
We ask that the board employ the following personnel effective August 24th, 2021, pending all employment paperwork. Kenya Guzman Sandoval as a lunchroom supervisor at Sunnyside.
Motion.
Second.
You got a routine now.
I know.
All right. Roll call, please.
Hightower,
Aye.
Mason,
Aye.
Mora,
Aye.
O'Donnell.
Aye.
Motion carried.
As discussed in our policy committee earlier this evening, we have a number of policies that we are asking the board to accept for first reading and adoption. So we ask that the board accept the following policies for first reading and adoption. Policy 233.02, 233.03, 502, 511, and 727 as presented.
A motion. Ms. O'Connor.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mason,
Aye.
Mora,
Aye.
O'Donnell. Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Motion carried.
So very excited about the new policy for our student dress code. So I know our parents will be thrilled to get that communication and to allow our students to have a little bit more flexibility in their dress for the coming school year. So thank you to the board for that.
That communication department.
So we did the initial communication just saying that it was pending review of the board. So we will probably send something out, maybe one of Dr. Sullivan's first communications to the community.
Excuse me. Good news.
Yes, I know we already had a phone call today asking about it, so parents are eager to get shopping and get ready for the school year, so that'll be exciting news for them to share. As we do annually, we enter into an agreement to provide an opportunity for the regional safe school for any students that may need that. So we ask that the Board of Education direct the administration to enter into the intergovernmental agreement with West Forty Intermediate Service Center number 2 for the regional safe school program for the 21-22 school year as presented.
I'll move.
Motion. Ms. O'Connor.
Second.
Ms. Mason. Roll call, please.
Mora,
Aye.
O'Donnell. Aye. Hightower,
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Motion carried.
So I just have really one item on my oral report, and I know Dr. Sullivan will talk a little bit more explicitly about the Berkeley blueprint in his oral report, but we, as Mrs. Vince mentioned earlier, there are 3 different federal grants that are being afforded to schools to help provide relief from the pandemic. So ESSER 3 is set to be released out to schools in the near future, and one of the requirements is to post our reopening plan for 30 days and offer public comment. So the team will be working on updating our original reopening plan from this current school year and modifying it to share what the new expectations will be for the coming school year. And then that will be open for public comment at the, I believe, the August board meeting. And that will then allow us to access the ESSER 3 funds, which should be the final phase of funding allocated for schools, which will be, it hasn't been a significant amount of money for District 87 in particular because it's based on the tiers from evidence-based funding. So that will really be allocated towards not only improving any type of learning loss that may have occurred as a result of the pandemic, but also allowing us to invest some of that money in our infrastructure and our capital projects for items such as improving air quality within the schools, which is found to be really one of the major mitigation strategies that really benefits and helps stop the spread of COVID. So stay tuned for more information from that from Dr. Sullivan, and I will save my thank yous for the end of the meeting. So thank you.
Thank you.
Don't start yet.
And to piggyback on what Dr. Bresnahan shared, the alternate that we approved, that we asked the board to approve in the bid award for the UV and HVAC equipment, that we will be using ESSER funds, ESSER 2 funds to pay for that alternate. And $55,000. We'll have plans to request funding so that we can use that and carry it through all the buildings like the Jefferson and Jefferson and Whittier.
Okay, moving right along.
Sure, yes. So I wanted to give just a brief overview of our Ready Math data. As you know, it's our second year of implementation for our Ready Math. And there's a diagnostic that all of our students take. And this year we were able to actually take it all 3 times, which was kind of exciting to see kind of our progression of data over the course of this school year. Even in the challenging circumstances of this school year, so we started the year remote, our students took it remote, and then we had a hybrid model for the assessment for both winter and our spring assessments. And so for the first time, this is our first full year, I would say, of fully implementing all of those curriculum materials with Fidelity in our classrooms. And our teachers were really focused on implementing those materials at grade level with Fidelity. The other piece that was really important, I think, as I preface as we think about our data, is every day this year, we also had an opportunity to have unfinished learning time for small groups. So looking at what, in addition to our core math time, we had a small group opportunity so our kids could, if they needed enrichment, if we needed opportunities to strengthen any areas where kids were having struggles or challenges, they had that opportunity daily also in mathematics. And I was really excited about our data. So from the fall to the spring, we doubled the number of students performing at grade level and were ready for grade level content, even in the midst of a pandemic. We decreased the percentage of students who were below grade level by 11%, which I thought was fantastic. All of our subgroups, so when you think about students that are maybe EL students or students in special education, any of our at-risk students, all of them, students that were performing at grade level also doubled and were near grade level. Those numbers doubled from fall to spring. So I was very excited about that. One of our strongest areas of performance was numbers and operations and algebra and algebraic thinking, which tells me that our teachers are doing a fantastic job of implementing those curricular materials with Fidelity, and it's starting to make an impact because those are the major components of instruction, especially in our K-5, is numbers and operations and algebra and algebraic thinking. So I was really excited to see that even in the midst of our most challenging year. So I was really proud of our students and our staff persevering throughout this school year and the growth that happened. So I can't wait to see what comes moving forward when we're back in person and have all of our kids with us and back on site. So some great celebrations as we close out the year with some of our data. I also wanted to give you an update on our ELA task force. So we came together in June. We met with 4 different publishers to review some materials. We have a specific rubric and criteria that we established as a district that we were looking for in all of the publishers. And so we gathered that information. I looked at each publisher against that criteria. We have a couple of them that we want to gather a little bit more information. So we're bringing the team back together in early August. We had 2 really strong contenders to pilot in the fall, potentially a third. And so our goal is to then be piloting in the fall and then bringing a recommendation later in the fall, closer to Christmas, closer to the winter months. The other thing I'm really excited about is we are going to continue. If you remember, in February, we had Pete Hall come to speak to all of our teachers. He's an author around social emotional learning and trauma-informed practices. So we're going to continue to work on our partnership with Pete Hall. And we met last week with our lead social workers from the SEL team, and Dr. Sullivan and I, and talked with him about how we could continue that partnership. So we're hoping to have him come to our new teacher orientation and work with our teachers on building their knowledge base around trauma-informed practices, building their SEL social emotional learning practices, as well as we move into the school year, their own self-regulation and, as adults, knowing that all of us have been through some level of trauma throughout this last, 18 months. And so really focusing on that as we start the year. He's also going to help us with a book facilitation study throughout the course of next year, which will focus on social emotional learning, as well as helping support our SEL team throughout the year with coaching and building, continuing to build their capacity to help do this work in the district. The other piece of exciting news is I have met with all of our specials and exploratories in June, and we have a really great start on continuing to refine their curriculum and updating that. So our STEM, tech literacy, Spanish, music, and our art programs are all working on updating their curriculum. We've developed a common template across the district that our guides will be formatted from. That will provide us some alignment and consistency across the district. So I'm really excited about the work that they've been doing early this summer. So thank you so much. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions? Yeah. Good report. Good.
Thank you so much.
Okay, moving on. Back to you.
Yes.
So Mrs. Vince shows next.
The summary of budget statement of position and student activity reports for the period ending May 31, 2021 are provided for your review. The next item is adopting the amended budget that we had a hearing on earlier this evening. That the Board of Education adopt the resolution for the adoption of the amended budget for fiscal year 2021 as presented.
Motion, Mr. O'Connell.
Second.
Second, Ms. Mason. Roll call, please.
O'Connell. Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora.
Aye.
I do have the state form with Angie for your signatures. The signature really now is kind of a backup. The budget is actually uploaded to the county and uploaded to ISB. But I want to be prepared in case they ask for that, because it's always required a written signature on everyone that voted. So. Moving along. The suggested motion is that the Board of Education adopt the resolution authorizing the transfer of surplus fire prevention and safety monies for capital projects as presented.
Motion. Mr. O'Connell.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Then the Board of Education adopt the resolution authorizing the transfer of monies from transportation fund to the educational fund as presented.
Motion. Mr. O'Connell. Ms. Mason.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora.
Aye.
Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Motion carried.
The next item on the playground at Jefferson, still included in, the board approved the bid last month, and this is for the playground area, which was not part of it. I know it's very exciting. We included it that because the entire project over there is below budget, we did include a recommendation to have a third of the surface be a rubberized surface for accessibility purposes.
And just so you know, I'm sharing up here so our audience can see as well, because this is the fun stuff about schools and construction. It's the playgrounds. So this is let's see. This is kind of a view of what it will look like, and looking here, you can see the different surfaces that will be there, and a lot of this accessible equipment and really age appropriate for our youngest primary students. And I want to thank Ms. Tortora because she helped give a lot of input in helping to design this as well, and Mr. Schuster for bringing this together from Wold. It's going to be a really exciting new playground that will be much more age appropriate, safer, closer to the building, all those good things, and have some excellent surface. Again, that will be more durable and safer all around.
So the suggested motion is that the Board of Education award the contract for the Jefferson Playground to Team Real Incorporated in the amount of $207,464 as presented.
Motion. Ms. O'Connor.
Second.
Ms. Mason. Roll call, please.
Mora,
Aye.
O'Connell. Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Mason. Motion carried.
That the Board of Education approve the Food Service Department Towel Services vendor contract for the 2021-2022 school year. Pending attorney review as presented.
A motion. Ms. O'Connor.
Second.
Ms. Mason. Roll call.
O'Connell. Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Mason. Mora.
Aye.
Motion carried.
That the Board of Education adopt the resolution establishing a deferred compensation plan for District 87 employees pursuant to Section 457 of the Internal Revenue Code. And I'm going to take out pending attorney review because we did receive the final copies. So, as presented.
Motion.
I'll
Ms.
second.
Mason.
She's first, I'll
And Ms. Mason.
We got it.
Ms. O'Connor. Roll call, please.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason. Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell. Aye. Motion carried.
And because we made this modification and adopted the 457 plan, now requires us to restate our 403B, so that suggested motion is that the Board of Education adopt the resolution ratifying and restating a tax sheltered annuity plan for District 87 employees pursuant to Section 403B of the Internal Revenue Code as presented.
Ms. Mason.
I'll second.
Ms. O'Connor. Roll call, please.
Mason. Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell. Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And annually, we adopt the resolution designating interest earnings each fiscal year. When I communicated with Mr. Izzo from Councilor Izzo, they did some revisions to that resolution, kind of clearing it up, clarifying exactly here that the intent is for, and that it was always designated interest as interest earnings. It maintains that designation in perpetuity until you spend it. So the suggested motion is that the Board of Education adopt the resolution designating interest earnings for fiscal year 2021 as presented.
A motion. Ms. Mason.
Second.
Ms. O'Connor. Roll call.
Mora.
Aye.
O'Connell. Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Motion carried.
So that resolution allows the board to transfer funds, the interest earned between funds. And next month I will bring the resolution back designating interest for 2022. The next motion is that the Board of Education assign the awarded bid for trade packages 04A masonry work, 06A general trades work, 08A glass and glazing work, 09A framing and drywall work, 11A kitchen equipment, 21A fire protection work, 22A plumbing work, 23A mechanical work, 26A electrical work, and 27A low voltage work as presented and approved to Gilbane Building Company and authorizes the board president and administration to take all actions reasonable and necessary to accomplish the assignment.
The motion,
Mason.
Ms. Mason, Ms. O'Connor. Roll call, please.
O'Connell. Aye. Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora.
Aye.
Carried.
And the next item is related to the construction as well. That the Board of Education approve the proposal from B&F Construction Code Services Incorporated at the quoted per price rates indicated on page 3 of their proposal for call inspections as presented.
Motion,
Mason.
Ms. Mason, Ms. O'Connor, second. Roll call.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And with all of the changes going on, this next motion authorizes us to change the signatures on the 6 student activity accounts and the interest account. So the suggested motion is that the Board of Education authorize the signers for the interest and student activity checking accounts as presented.
Motion, Ms. Mason, Ms. O'Connor. Roll call.
Mason.
Aye.
Mora.
Aye.
Hightower.
Aye.
Motion carried.
And then I wanted to share with the board, at this time, we're in the process of renewing our general liability through the skip pool. And the renewal, the Skip Gallagher team that manages our skip pool shared with an update with us that the renewals in other pools that renewed July 1st are continuing to see a hard market. So we're expecting to see some increases again. But the biggest concern is the cyber market. So the renewal, all the member districts will receive additional application documents for the cyber coverage. And it's very likely that the pool and the member districts that have additional cyber coverage may not be able to purchase the same amount of coverage that we've had in the past. There's a lot that remains to be seen, but to address that, the skip pool is working with an organization called Secure Halo to help with cyber prevention, risk control, and training to prevent cyber events. So as part of that, we will implement some of those, we will implement the controls, the additional controls that they are recommending to prevent and reduce cyber-related exposure. Last summer, we brought forward the opportunity to purchase the increased amount in cyber coverage, and it provided us coverage through December 31, 21. So that coverage is part of the renewal. And at that time, we had 1 million coverage through the pool, and the board approved the additional coverage on top of that. So I will continue to report to the board on updates as they become available on the status of that renewal. Last year, they gave us several updates throughout the renewal process, and then we had final information at the November meeting for you, or December, I think it was November. And then on a happy note, our P card rebates. So if you recall, when we started in 2018 for a partial year, rebate was $61 and change. And the next year, we increased it to $525 and change. And last year, we did really, really good at $4,548 and change. And this year, it's down, but the entire purchasing volume of the P card program is down 70 million, and the rebate for all participants, the overall rebate dropped 1.3 million. So our rebate this year is $2,532 and change, which is still very good. And there's a couple things that I can attribute to that. We're not paying for as many workshops on the P card, and many of the utilities no longer allow us to pay the full amount with the P card.
Does Gilbane take credit cards?
Well, we would
Just throwing it out there.
We may need an increase in our credit line. I
On her 5 million.
I would love to report that reading. But we continue to seek out opportunities to use the P card instead of checks. And another happy note is our NRG, Energy Reduction On Demand Response Program. This year we received $4,639 for participating in that program. Then last year was $7,800. This year we were not able to reduce on one of the on-demand days because of the amount of air change that we needed to have as one of the mitigation efforts. There was a demand day in February and we were not able to meet that. Because we had to continue to circulate the air at a higher rate than normal. And then lastly, as we've done in the past, this year we will have an additional June bills list that will be included in the July accounts payable approval request. That way we can capture any late bills or anything that really pertain to this fiscal year. Are there any questions?
It's been your show all night.
It has been. I know, I'm sorry.
It's good information.
All good stuff.
What a great audience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we're along, that's all.
Stuff that follows. The summer school update, I just wanted to mention that Thursday of this week, our summer school comes to a close. But to just let you know, our parents and our children are just so appreciative, and our teachers, that we were able to do this. So thank you for your support for our return to in-person summer school. Mrs. Zimmerman and I attended a parent meeting last week with parents during summer school, and then we did a Q&A afterwards. And many of the parents who were in attendance did not even have their children in person at all during this pandemic. But they took advantage of this opportunity for summer school. So we were really pleased that happened. And we will have a report when summer school finishes. But it was very common to hear teachers and students use the same word when they're describing it. Fun. That's what they've been saying. And it's so nice to hear kids associate fun with learning. And I just wanted to share one quick story. There were many, from kids building Adirondack chairs with in a woodworking class and using math to do that. But one that really stuck with me was one of the classes where on the shelf were about 20 or 30 stuffed animals that had little ailments marked on them. And it was a veterinarian class. And then all the kids in the class were reading the books about how to treat the stuffed animals with their ailments. And the stuffed animals were actually in the waiting area, bless you. And there was a procedure to go from the waiting area into see the veterinarian. And those are just a couple of glimpses from our summer school. So it was well worth it. We will begin our staffing for our August summer school. That's the next in the pipeline, so stay tuned with that. We have not confirmed staffing yet, but the concept is out there. We certainly want to do it for our pre-K and kindergarten again, and any transition grades that we can. And that will be in August. Also, our strategic planning is the process we're going to be beginning in July. I just wanted to mention that to revise our 5-year plan. Also, Dr. Bresnahan mentioned the return to school and the Berkeley Blueprint. And that now is going to connect with our grant requirement for public comment. So we'll be working on that. We have a planned meeting already scheduled with all of our administrators for July 15th. So we would like to honor that time to be able to review what our returning plans are with all our administrators, then go to public comment. We should be okay with that because we are ahead of the game with our grants. Our grants are in order, and this grant has not opened yet, so we're not late. But as Dr. Bresnahan said, there's a 30-day window we need to have our return to school posted, which we plan on meeting that week. Also, I was thinking about this because with now the decision to revise the student dress expectations, we now may want to look at our staff expectations, because a lot of the staff expectations are directly related to the student expectations. So what I thought I would do is bring it up for discussion in July, and we can discuss that and see what changes, if any, we would like to make to the staff dress expectations, and then follow a similar proceeding where we would discuss and then have it available for comment and first reading. And that would be in July. And then I was looking for the consent of the board for construction recording. I just want to talk just a moment about that. I don't know if we touched on this, but the topic came up because, as you now realize, there's a lot going on out there. So Mr. Byrne and Mr. White have been taking pictures of it. But while we were doing that, we were thinking there are a couple of services that will take time-lapse photography, which would memorialize this wonderful experience. And it could also serve as an educational tool for the kids. Also, it would be a community engagement, community outreach, because, and Mr. Byrne will jump in here in a moment, it's the kind of service where you actually can go to a link on our website and check out how far we've come up to a certain date, where the time lapse will just continue. And so that's one way we could do this. It also would, in a way, provide more security for us too, because the video is constantly running. So those are just some benefits of it. But there's a cost to this. And this is construction-related funding, and so we wanted to talk about that. If we were to pursue this, we would use other funds. We wouldn't make this part of the Gilbane package or the Wold package. This would be something separate. And Mr. Byrne was able to come up with, well, we have 3 options out there which we could. I just wanted the consent of the board. Which option do you think we should explore? One would be have Mr. White and Mr. Byrne continue to take pictures out there every day, so there's a record of it. The other is we could get a camera with, which I believe Mr. Byrne is the Brino, if I'm calling that one.
Yeah.
So the Brino camera would be, we would have to climb up on one of our buildings and install the Brino camera with, I think, a pack of, is it 18 AA batteries?
I think that's right.
18 AA, which seems like a lot of batteries, to be honest with you. And it would periodically have to be changed, and I believe there's a SIM card as well that we would have to change on a regular basis. One of my concerns with that is that could be a challenge, having someone go to a high space to do that. So that could be an option for approximately $600, if I'm recalling that. There's a version of what's called TrueLook, which would be approximately $11,000. And that would provide that on-demand viewing of the construction site. It would be the time-lapse video. And I believe it's a high-definition camera, which would become ours at the end of the project. And again, it would be an opportunity for people in the community to look at it in real time. They don't actually have to come here to see it. They can go on the website to look at it. Mr. Byrne, what do you think? Is there anything else, Dave?
Yeah, happy to answer any questions, but like Dr. Sullivan said, it will be mounted on the roof. And the nice thing about this solution is that it's accessible from the appropriate people that we have access to make modifications or to pull the content from their phone or the computer. And like Dr. Sullivan said, it could be embedded into our website. So whether we choose to have the live viewing or just the time lapse for our community, but community members, anybody who has access to an internet could view the progression of the construction that's taking place. And then of course is that historical recording and media that we have forever. So a lot of great features, and like Dr. Sullivan said, this camera as well as the web interface, it prevents the need from having people climb up to the roof to retrieve the content. We can do it all from our phone. So really a great service, and they come up with really great products.
So do you have anything built in the overall budget for this particular project? We do not, right? So we do not, so what line item would this be attached to?
So we could charge it to use some of the contingency monies or reimbursement monies that are allocated in construction. But this is so early, $11,000 is not, I mean, it is a lot of money, but it's not considering the size of the project. I think it would be a reasonable cost. Under the Board of Education section, there is a communications line, which our district newsletter comes out of that line. And we could charge it there and budget funds there. And that way, it's a constant communication to the community. And as Dr. Sullivan said, our teachers could access if they wanted to use any piece of that in their classroom. Part of a.
So are you requesting?
So I was seeking consent of the board because it's a construction-related expense.
But also we have a line item on communication, like you with that line item. So what are you looking from us, board, approval to do it or consensus of it?
Consent to move forward, and I think, Mr. Byrne, your recommendation would be the true one.
Yeah, it accomplishes all the things that we communicated, so that would, based on the options that are available, I think it's a great option to move forward with at a reasonable price.
So if it's the consent of the board, we can move forward with that immediately, and in a very short period of time, we would have video.
Like a consensus? Or did you know that conversation that we had, we get a consensus to have us move forward under communications department?
Ms. Mora, are you on board with moving forward with this?
I am.
Thank you.
Good, thank you. So. move forward.
Thank you, Mr. Byrne.
Thank you.
And that's the end of my report.
Good report, just spent some more money. All right, Mr. Evans.
All right, I just have a brief report just to update you on interviews and vacancies. As you see, resignations is beginning to come in, and as we receive them, we will continue to interview in hopes of finding the best candidates. Principals are working and we're communicating on a regular basis in regards to interviewing candidates and finding candidates for our vacant positions. So basically probably in our July board meeting, the one at the end of the month, I'll start providing you with the number of vacancies again. And just really wait for us to get, because during the summer it can be a nice amount, but I'll start providing you and categorizing the number of vacancies we have to give you an idea of, the positions we have to fill for the upcoming school year.
Early indicators, are you seeing that we have harm disconnects in filling these positions?
I'm sorry.
We've had finding issues where we're having problems finding candidates for these positions as well.
In some of the positions, I will say, special education. In special education, we have received several declinations where we've offered candidate the position and they did decline. Generally, some of them are saying due to the salary. Enjoyed speaking to us, but due to the salary, some of them have declined. In other areas, not so much. We are having people that have accepted the position. We've had someone who worked for us years ago come back and return to the district, so that was great. Very excited to have her return. So yes, but in special education, and it was communicated to me early on that there's a shortage of special education teachers. So I did encourage the principals to start because I had heard this a while ago. And so I think it's just, all teachers is their market because everybody's looking for them, but definitely in special education.
Anything else?
No, that's the end of my.
Well, we're looking forward for your updates in July.
Okay.
I know you're more awful hard to get the position filled, but you always do. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Travis? All right. Any new business? No new business? Okay, before we go into our closed session, we're gonna give all the board members opportunity. Dr. Bresson, I don't know what we're gonna say. This will be our last board meeting for us, okay? I want to personally from the board to say, I give everybody a chance to go around and say thank you for what you've given us these last 6 years. It's been special. I mean, your vision has been something that we could not have imagined 6 years ago. Here we are now trying to build a new facilities with your leadership. You know, and I want you to walk by every day and that building start going up and say, okay, that's part of my vision. So thank you for what you've done. You set us up really nicely and be able to get Dr. Sumner to replace you, but you're gonna be really, really missed. So anything on behalf of the board we can do for you going forward, we're here for you. Okay? We're here for you.
Yes.
Ms. Mason, you have anything?
Sure, of course. Dr. Bresnahan. Becoming a board member, my first run, with having you on board, you made it so much easier and enjoyable. It's been a pleasure watching you have your vision turn into a reality. It's been such a pleasure watching you take charge of several villages with such tenacity and vigor and still be humble in your walk. You're very approachable, easygoing, easy to talk to. You listen to others, and you also know how to take a conversation and put a spin on it and make it positive. I'm gonna take all of that in my future endeavors and use it. I'll always have you in my heart and in my thoughts. I wish you well, I wish your family well, and just know that you are loved and you will truly, truly be missed. Thank you.
Ms. O'Connor, you've been from day one.
I hate to see her leave, I'm sorry. I agree with everything you've said. I could not have said it better. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Morrow, you have anything to say to us?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in the capacity of board member, I don't think that there's too much I can say just because I've only been around for a little bit, but with my children being part of the district and my daughters being part of Riley and, the student council there and me being a part of PTO, your presence was always felt. The work that you did was always felt. I think that in my relationship with the principals, I knew how much of an impact you've always had. And it's really refreshing and so important for parents and staff to have the relationship that I've seen everybody have with you. Twitter, all of those different places and interactions that I've been able to have with you. I just think that, the next community that you are a part of is immensely lucky to have you as we were, and wish you nothing but the absolute best. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Too late to change your mind. Okay.
I've thought about it, but I just want to say, those were really nice things to say about me.
Well, we love you.
I don't think that there's many people in my position who get the opportunity to do what I was able to do here. I don't think there's many people who have been as supported and as loved in the work that they do. And I think for me, it's because it is something I truly love. I love this work. I love this community. I love the people that I get to work with. You have become my family. I will absolutely be driving by here. I'm so proud to have been a part of this and to have been given the opportunity to serve in this capacity. It's a once in a lifetime. It's truly been once in a lifetime. I hope that I've helped prepare this team to soar and to fly, and they're gonna do an amazing job. I know they will. And to have, in such a short time, and in my very first superintendency, to have this board take this chance on me, I have never taken that for granted. It's truly been a gift. This is a unique place to be. It is absolutely so special, and I know I will never find another place like it. So thank you all for the support, the love, the encouragement. I hate to leave, but I know you will always be a part of me. And that's one of the things that makes District 87 special, is that it's always a place to call home. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Those were nice.
Thank you.
Before we close, I'm gonna give everyone in the audience an opportunity
Oh,
to
Lord.
thank us. I control the opposite. All right? We're gonna start right here with.
I just want to thank Dr. Bresnahan for this opportunity for me to join this team. We've had lots of great conversations and hearts to hearts over the course of this school year. I think she's helped me grow. I think her passion for the work in 87 has been evident through everything that she does and through all of our conversations. And it is truly evident how much the community and our staff and the leadership have embraced and really bonded and grown over the experiences with Dr. Bresnahan over the course of her 6 years. And I wished, as I told you before, that our time would be a little longer, so that I felt a little cheated in some ways, but that's okay. I know where time turned. So, thank you for the year.
Thanks, those nice words. Ms. Travis?
Oh, boy.
Oh,
I just want to thank Dr. Bresnahan. I'm going to try not to cry, but I just want to thank her for just, like you said, her vision. And being a part of Berkeley School District 87 myself for 26 years, she came in like a breath of fresh air and saw where we needed to go and talk to us and help us to start beginning to go there. And she came in leading with heart and showing us what we can do with our staff, our community, our school board, when we lead with a heart and we believe in each other, build trust, we collaborate, we talk and have discussions, and it's just been amazing. What I've learned from her, I really admire her vision and being a visionary, you know, and it's just been amazing. I'm very proud of her. I was so sad, and I still am, but I'm getting better. And I want you all to hear me say this. I've told a few people, but I understand, you know, her movement, but seriously, I truly feel in my heart that we're gonna see her as the state superintendent of Illinois. That's what kind of vision she has, and that's what we need in education in Illinois. But I truly see that in her future. I am not going to be surprised, but she has done an amazing job for the students, for the staff, for this leadership team. And I want to thank you, because as a board, just your work in allowing her to help us and you being open and taking us along the ride with her. I want to thank you as well. But yes, I'm just so happy for her, but at the same time, and she put this on me, both of my children are going out of state for college and she's leaving, so I'm like, I'm experiencing a lot of loss. But yes, but just amazing, and she will ever remain here, and like she said, she can always come home. Berkeley 87, I tell the teachers when they leave, you can always come home, this is home.
Thank you.
Well said.
Thank you, Dr.
Ms. Smith?
I, along with Ms. Travis, Terry, your vision and charging us to push outside of our comfort zone and to think beyond what's possible and to dream big. And we've gone through a lot, and it's just, who would have ever thought 6 years ago that we would be doing this? And I'm so grateful that you had that vision and pushed us, and we're all better because of it.
Thank you. Joe?
Thank you. I didn't know if I was gonna get the opportunity.
I control the
It's hard to say any more than what was said with all the nice and true things that have been said. I took a few notes in preparation of this just now. So the support to everybody that you encounter is just amazing. Your ability to handle so many projects is so stunning to me, and you do it with such calmness, clarity, and good decision-making along the way, which is just a tremendous skill. I'll keep mine brief here, but the last one, which I think you'll appreciate, education is a people business and it's a caring business. I think you are honest, kind, and just a good person that cares about people. And I think in each interaction you have, you share some of that.
Shift over to our.
You had no idea you were signing up for this, right?
It's been an absolute pleasure to work with you. And part of the whole mission statement is to make a difference. We look at the way that you have helped District 87 make a difference in so many students' lives. I think we can make you an honorary wall architect.
Yay! I'll absolutely take it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, for me, it's been a short time, just a couple of months that we've been working together, but it's been a pleasure. And on behalf of Gilbane, looking forward to carrying out the vision and the dream that you've created for Berkeley District 87 and making that a reality. So come back and visit.
I will absolutely be back to see the work that you guys do. You better take good care. Do a great job.
Before I shift to your replacement, Amy.
Oh, God.
I can't do it. All I can say is thank you for believing in the staff and students in District 87. From day one, you were like, there's equity and everyone can learn and everyone can grow. And we did. I'll go good.
That's okay.
I'll be real baby.
That's okay. Okay.
Each of our attendants, Mr. Hightower. Each of our attendants, Mr. Edwards.
We'll stop right there. Dr. Sutton.
Mr. President, thank you. Terry and I, one of the nice things about working with Terry, as long as I have, we've just always had a relationship where we can talk to each other. And I remember when Terry first became superintendent, we just basically would say, we got this. Whatever it is, we got it. We would do it together, we'd figure it out. And Terry, it's kind of an example of what we did today with the will of the board. Terry's challenge for me has always been to, I think the expression you used several years ago, Terry, was the moonshot. Think of the moonshot. Because that idea came from somewhere, when people made that decision that they're gonna find a way to go to the moon. And that would be an example that we want to send somebody up on a ladder with a camera, or we want to get something that will give our community what they deserve. And that's the kind of example Terry didn't just talk about, she led that way. She by example. And those are just quick off the top of my head, how she set an example for me. And the other thing I've learned from Terry is the importance of not just having a leader with vision, but inspiring everyone to have their vision. Because they need that. We all need to be leaders. And that's another example Terry has set, that we need to push ourselves to do that, to take those risks, to innovate for the benefit of our families, for our kids, and for our staff, because we have wonderful people. As we say all the time, who wouldn't want to work with us? And you're now going to carry that on into your new endeavor, but we're going to carry it on here too. So thank you, and we got this.
Thank you. We did this for a reason, because we got the tape on it, right? We got everything on tape, so Terry, on behalf of the board, thank you for everything you've done. You're special, and you've really created a nice vision for us. We want to follow your lead, so thank you. All right?
Thank you so much.
Okay, moving right along here. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go into closed session, our second closed session. No, we don't have a lot of our board members here, we're gonna go into it, so. Okay, have a motion to go into the closed session?
I'll move.
Okay, Mr. O'Connell?
Second.
Second, Ms. Mason.
Hightower.
Aye.
Mason.
Aye.
Laura. Laura.
Yes?
We're going into closed session, so we need a motion. Yes, say aye.
Aye.
O'Connell. Aye.
And this is not to return back into
No.
open, correct?
We will have a-
Okay. Attendees, thank you so much. Welcome, Ms. Lewis. So excited to have you on board. I know I won't get to work with you, but thank you for being here. Teachers, principals, thank you for being here tonight. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.